Welcome to Math with Mrs. Cox. We are in Chapter 1, Lesson 1, page 11 in your math book. Before you begin this lesson, please make sure you have watched the Math Antics video called Place Value. It will help you out quite a bit, and it is 10 minutes long. To begin with, let's pay attention to things marked in yellow. Place value chart is what this is right here. A period is something important you're going to have to pay attention to later because you'll need to answer it on the vocabulary page. A period is also what we usually call a comma, and it separates each group of 3 digits. Go ahead and mark that in this place value chart. Push pause if you need to. This is written in expanded form where you're listing the values of each digit. They're getting their numbers from this number right here, and each number you're listing the value. So the very first number is 90 million. So 9 times 10 million equals 90 million. And you continue on with the pattern. This right here is really important because it answers the very last question on our orange homework page in a couple papers. They wants to know a digit in a place or a place value representing 10 times as much as it represents in the place to its right, 1/10 of what it represents to its left. Which it pretty much means, if it says 1/10, you're moving the decimal right. If it's times by 10, you're moving the decimal left because it's greater is going left, and this is 1 divided by 10, or 1/10, so it is getting smaller. We'll explain that later as we talk about decimals, but just understand your very last question, 1/10 means it wants you to move one place value to the right. That'll help you out later. Okay, go ahead and notice the answers and make sure that you have filled them in appropriately. Push pause if you need to. Okay, a couple more vocabulary words. They're in yellow, which means they're probably going to be on your homework. Standard form is just what this looks like right here, just a regular number. Expanded form is what we did earlier by doing the value of each of the numbers. Okay. Then we also have word form. And don't worry, we'll experience a little bit of each. Go ahead and write this number in this place value chart and fill in the word form and expanded form. This is what it should look like when you are finished. Here you're doing the highlighted values of the digit. That 9 is worth 90, but that 9 is worth 90,000. And that 3 is worth 10,000. Love it when it does that. That's okay, we'll find it quickly. Thank you for your patience. Write the value of the digit. So that is not worth 6 or 60, but it is worth 600. That 3 is not worth $3 or even $30 or even $3,000. It is worth 300,000. And that 9 is 9,000. And here's where it gets a little bit complicated, and this is why I will show you the answers in a minute. Please understand with this math book, they usually ask you more than one question and one task during a paragraph. So this write each number in word form and expanded form. So this is 5,901,452. And we'll show you how to write that in just a minute. Down here, I want you to write it in standard form, which is just the number, and expanded form, which you give a value to each number. I think I'm going to stay on my page. There we go. 600 is the value, 300,000 is the value, 9,000 is the value. Go ahead and push pause and write these answers in word form and expanded form here, and in standard and expanded form here. Please make sure you do not mix up the multiplication and the plus signs. Here it is again in standard form and expanded form. And then also they want you to tell me where the 9 is. The 9 is in the hundred thousands, so you'd write 100 thousands. And the 1 has a value of 1 in the thousands, so it's 1,000. Alrighty, they have word form, this is what it looks like, expanded form, and here is the standard form written right here. So standard, word, expanded. Okay, looking at the 8, tell me what's the value. If you're not quite sure, you can count over how many spots it goes and use this chart to help you. Go ahead and push pause and see if you can do 1, 2, and 3 on your own. Welcome back. Here's what the answers are for 1, 2, and 3. Easy way to remember is just write the number and then fill all of these places in with 0. And then you have the value of your number. Remember, if it asks for the value, that's what it's asking you to do. Number and all the zeros. Right here it's asking word form and expanded form. So here's our word form and our expanded form. Please make sure you do 1 times 100 million. Plus, and then continue on. Push pause if you need to get that information down. Okay, Hannah stated that this many people saw the Miami Heat play last season. Chris wanted to be sure you heard the number correctly. Write this in word form and expanded form. So in word form and expanded form. This is where it's helpful to have your little place chart. If not, you can use the place value chart on the previous page. Go ahead and try that. On this brain builder, they also have a problem. American car makers produce this many cars each year. In a report, Ben wrote that Americans made this many cars. What mistake did Ben make and how can he fix it? Look very carefully between these two and tell me what you think is the mistake. I am not on the right page. That's funny. There we go. Okay, there is the word form and the standard form. And in this one, Ben switched the 6 and put it in the hundredths place with the 5 in the millions. He can put the 6 in the hundredths place and the 5 in the millions place to fix this. That is a big mistake, switching those numbers right there. Okay, vocabulary check. This is why the yellow are important to look at. Standard form goes with the usual or the common way to write a number. Period is like a comma. It goes every 3 digits. Expanded form is where you write the sum of all the values. This is that tricky one I was telling you about where it's 1/10 the value of the highlighted digit. That number right there would be 30,000 is its value. But if we were to do 1/10 its value, we would move it 1 spot to the right, which would mean it would be in that spot where that 5 is. So that would be in the million spot. So then 3 million is what the value would be. Okay, I helped you quite a bit on this lesson. The rest of the lessons you're going to have to kind of help me out and be proactive and do them a lot on your own. But since this is the very first chapter, the very first lesson in the book, I thought I would help you out quite a bit. So go ahead and tear out the homework and turn it in.